It was all a dream, but yours is about to become a reality. Hi, guys, I'm Angel Holmes, and this is the Never Stop Dreaming BIGGIE podcast. Each week, I'm bringing you conversations that really matter, from solo deep dives to episodes with my husband, Brian, and featuring incredible guests who are building businesses, creating communities, and making an impact. We're keeping it real and sharing what actually works so you can make your biggest dreams happen. Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 3 of Never Stop Dreaming BIGGIE. And I'm your host, Angel Holmes. So excited to be here today. I am rocking out my Tupac sweatshirt today because I love them all. Tupac is one of the guys, one of the OGs. And I thought he'd be great. It's really comfortable to wear today because I got a really cool topic that I want to share just about my journey with everything, just to give some context to some of the stuff I've been through and all of the things that have happened, the good, the bad, and not so good is what I call it. And the biggest thing for me over the last few years is just having to start over again. And that's been really hard. So my career for 29 years, PR, marketing, and at large scale events, not that it was easy or always perfect by any means, but I just always kept on getting better and better and crafting my skill and to the point where I got really good jobs and I just kept growing and I kept on doing really cool stuff. I mean, I definitely did a lot to get there, but I always just had some really big success with my career. I felt very, very blessed. Definitely did not appreciate it until I lost it all. But then I decided to take some more risk. I'm a risk taker. I love doing that. I think that's a big part of who I am and has what's made me who I am. But I do think it's important to just, you got to have both. You got to take some risks, but you also have to have that balance. So super glad I have my husband, Brian, now because he is definitely that balance for me, but I just didn't have that all the time. I also shared this early on the first episode, but I'm an over giver. So I like giving things to people. I love helping people. And a passion project of mine, something a big dream of mine was to start. Just I felt like there was a need. A lot of people came to me after I stopped doing the Charleston Wine and Food Festival to do a beverage conference. And it wasn't just any beverage conference. It was one that was like no other out there. It was focused on small craft beverage makers. And man, BevCon for life. I love BevCon. I actually just was looking at one of the brochures for BevCon and it was just, y'all, it was amazing. I really love this event so much. Had so much fun. If you know, BevCon was really it. So I did it for 2 years in Charleston. And those 2 years, I did not make any money. I actually lost money, but my other business was doing so well that I was able to cover the cost of it. And I just believed in it so much. I just know this can become what people want it to be. But my biggest challenge was I wasn't taking on big sponsors and big money because I wanted to keep it to small craft distillers and winemakers and all of that. So I wasn't taking big money and it hurt me for sure. And then I gave away tickets to everybody I knew because I didn't want people to pay. I wanted them to come and enjoy it. So it was fun until it wasn't fun. I did end up moving it to LA. Again, I thought that was a great opportunity to grow it. I felt like at the time too, Charleston was not really embracing it. There were people that were, but there were a lot of people that weren't. And I wasn't getting the support just of the community, some of the community and the sponsors that I needed. So moved it to LA, got more sponsors and had a lot of good support out there and excitement. But I just got into a situation where the venues I had and everything out in LA is obviously more expensive. And it just added up and added up and added up to the point where I was stressed out right before it started because I knew what my ticket sales were and I knew what my sponsorships were. And I was just hoping for a miracle that I would be flooded with ticket sales from LA, and it just didn't happen. So anyway, we did do the event and it was amazing. It was so fun. We had such a great time and it was amazing, but I lost a lot of money. And the hotel I was in, there was just a lot of unfortunate things with their contract that I just didn't catch that were going to become important afterwards. So long story short is I had to file for bankruptcy. And I will tell you, I tried everything I could not to file for bankruptcy. I paid everyone that was an independent person I knew was counting on that money. I tried to pay everybody. The only person I really couldn't pay everything to was the hotel, which I tried to have a financial agreement that was fair, but they were not taking it and I had to file for bankruptcy. So that was a really hard point in my life and my career. And I'm not regretting it. I actually loved my bankruptcy attorney. He was so amazing. And Brian and I had just started dating, and that's a powerful story in itself. But the cool thing, there wasn't a lot of cool things, but I just learned a lot of good lessons, valuable lessons from that. And I truly believed in, and I will always believe in BevCon. I would love to bring it back in some reiteration smartly in the future. But then after that, it just kept on kind of going in that direction. I did do an event in Asheville that was great, except for COVID hit. And then I lost all my business to COVID, everything. And that was really humbling. Like one day just to lose everything. And I was making over 6 figures, doing really, really well. And I was though praying for something different. I was getting burned out on events and I was getting tired of doing client works. I mean, in a way I got what I prayed for because I stopped doing events. I stopped doing all that, but I had to really suck up my pride. I did 8 different businesses. I sold activewear. I worked for friends. I did so much. I just totally put myself out. Tupac. And at the time, I also was going through a divorce. And I really was like, I need just to reconnect back with my faith. And that is where I spent a year after my divorce, really getting back connected to God and my faith. And this is not a Christian podcast, but I will say I've done life with and without my faith. And it is so much better with. It has been incredible. Not that everything's perfect, but it has been amazing. And so but I think what I'm trying to get to with this episode is that it's okay to fall and it's okay to have those changing moments in your life. But what it taught me though, and I'm really grateful for this, is that you are not defined by your career. You're not defined by your success. For so long, because I had been so good at it, because I had, had all this great stuff happen to me for me with my businesses, I was so stuck on that being my identity when I was like, you know what, this is not who I am. And what I've learned is that you need to follow that tug and that drive in your heart. For me too, it's a lot of prayer. It's a lot of time just like going, what is my purpose here? What am I meant to do? It's not doing all these things I did and thought I was supposed to do for so long. It's so much bigger and greater because I followed that calling and I've really gotten true and deep about what it is I'm supposed to be doing with this life. So that is why I created this podcast, because I really want to inspire others that are kind of there, that where you have worked, maybe you've worked for a year and you're like, I'm not really loving what I'm doing and I really feel passionate about this thing. How can I get to do this thing? I hopefully will share with you things I've done to get to that thing or get to the thing. You're still going to have to do stuff you don't like to do, but don't let that voice go away. Or you've been doing this like me for 30 years and you're like, man, I'm tired of this. I want to do something else. I don't want my life to be wrapped up in my career. I want to do something more meaningful. I want to mentor people. I want to help people. Learn from me and my mistakes or my wins or whatever. Go for it. That's there. That is there for you to do. You definitely need to have a plan financially. You need to make sure you can handle the change. You could be forced like it was for me, or you could do it gradually, whatever that looks like. So you have these 2 different, opportunities. But I think at the end of the day, the important thing is that you follow your passion and you follow what your calling is, and don't let like days just keep on passing. Like don't let you're supposed to be doing or I know the money, all this stuff, it doesn't matter. Your happiness matters and what you do with your day matters. So just really getting clear about your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing. So I just wanted to share that just to show, hey, I've been through a lot and I understand if you've been through that stuff, and that it's not, what you've done all your life does not define you, and you don't have to keep going. It's like athletes. You always hear after they win one Super Bowl, they got to win another. They got to win another. It's never enough. It's never enough. And I felt like my business, it wasn't that it was never enough. I just didn't appreciate it. But then when I lost it, I realized that I don't need that. I don't need that. I was just going after things that really were not fulfilling me and weren't what I was really supposed to be doing. So, my goal, my dream, my intention is just to help others live into their full purpose, their full vision to make cool shit happen. That's what we're about. That's what we're here for. So, I just encourage you to just dive deep and go into, a time, a reflective period where you can really figure out what it is you want to do with your life and how you want to do there and how you want to get that. And come back here every week and I'll share more tips and tricks and things I've done. I will have guests on that will share the same, and we're just going to keep on doing life and business together the Biggie way. So till I see you again, peace out.